Today we are talking all about the Rotary kit for the WeCreat Vista. This is going to allow us to engrave all kinds of tumblers, mugs, cups, even rings. Let's dive into this tool and see how it works. Hey there, I'm Sarah. You're watching Creative Ramblings. We talk a lot about lasers on this channel. If you are a laser user or thinking about getting one, you're in the right place. Consider subscribing. I have new tutorial style and review videos here every week. So today we're talking about the WeCreat Vista. I did a full overview on this machine last week. You can check out that video if you want to learn more. We are just focusing on the Rotary kit today. This kit allows us to engrave tumblers and other cylinder objects in this machine. The machine itself is only 6.5 inches tall, and that is just this part right here. You can actually engrave tumblers inside of that machine without rising it up. Right now, I do have it on a very small set of risers, which allow us to do even thicker items. So the first thing we need to do is get this Rotary kit set up inside of the machine. This is what comes with the Rotary kit. This is the main piece that plugs into the machine and holds your cylinder items with these grips. They screw in and the tools are provided to do this. There are 3 types of grips that you receive. I have the stepped version installed. There are also single grips for larger items and bars that'll hold a small ring. The kit comes with a level and a measuring tape, and this key that helps turn and lock the grips in place, keeping your tumbler or water bottle secure. So let's put this in. Open up the machine and take out the grates, and then we're going to flip the laser. This is done by turning the 2 knobs to release the laser head, then flipping it forward and tightening the knobs again. It really is easy. You're not actually removing the laser at all. Then pull the whole mechanism all the way to the front of the machine, and you'll see 2 screws on your left. Remove those screws. Then place the rotary attachment in that place. It'll slot in there nicely. And replace the 2 screws. Make sure it's really secure so it's not moving. And then you just plug the rotary attachment into the machine. I am using a test tumbler for this project. I highly recommend you get test pieces until you figure out the exact settings needed for your material. First and always measure the perimeter before you put it in. Either use millimeters or inches, and then secure it in the chuck. Tighten it with the key and place the additional support on the other end if you need it. And then use the little included piece to make sure everything is level. Keep the lid open and let's go over to the Make It software. On the top right, select Laser Cylinder and then click Refresh to let the camera take a picture. Enter the perimeter down on the bottom and your working area will become visible. If you need to switch between inches and millimeters depending on how you measured, you can do that in settings. The red area on top cannot be engraved. This is to protect the rotary tool from the laser so they don't hit. Now select the material, and then we can bring in an SVG. I'm going to size this appropriately. Keep in mind the orientation of the item. In this case, the top of the water bottle is at the bottom of my screen. However, this is just a test, so the orientation doesn't really matter here. Place the design to the left of the green center line. The machine will start engraving at the line and turn toward the back of the machine as it works. Choose your setting based on your own tests or using the grid and recommended settings for the material. If you have a dark item in your machine, it can be a little bit hard to see. You can change the color of the SVG down on the bottom just so you can see it better. If you're having trouble seeing the item in the machine, you can also place a piece of painter's tape on it and then let the camera take a picture. It just helps you see your engraving area a little better. I like to then carefully remove the tape before I actually start engraving. There is a 3D preview option that shows you exactly what your design will look like as it curves around the bottle. This can help you get really precise with the size of your design. Once you're ready to go, make sure the lid is closed. Hit start in the software, then push the button on the machine and it will start engraving. You'll need to clean the water bottle afterwards. I like to start with a baby wipe and see what comes off. Or you can just go straight to rubbing alcohol in a soft cloth or paper towel. Then wash the whole thing in soap and water. Be careful with using harsher chemicals. You could end up removing that pink paint, and we don't want to do that. We just want to remove the soot from the metal underneath. There are other materials you can engrave using the Rotary tool. So this is a 10-watt diode laser. You can engrave on glass here, but you do need a little bit of prep work. So again, always buy 2 of the same material that you want to engrave. One's going to be a test and the other is going to be your actual project that you're making. So the first thing you want to do with glass is clean it really well and then paint on a coat of black tempera paint. This is water-based and it washes off really easily. There's also marking spray and marking paper, but if you start with the tempera paint, it's really, really inexpensive and it's just a way to test it out. I like to do 2 coats. I wait for the first one to dry completely and then I add a second. If your paint is streaky, your engraving is going to be a little bit off. So we want a really, really flat coat. Sometimes you need 2, maybe even 3 coats to get that done. And then you can just engrave as normal. Again, get that test cup first, run a test grid, and then your finished project is going to look beautiful. When the engraving is done, just go wash it off in soap and water, and the engraving on the glass is going to be permanent. Let's put the risers on the machine. These are really simple. I keep them twisted together so they don't get lost, but they unscrew into 4 pieces. Lift one side of the machine and pop off the rubber feet. Then screw the risers into place. And repeat this on the other side. Pull out the base plate and place it below the laser to protect your work surface. This is no longer an enclosed laser. This is open and you must wear safety glasses when using it. Do not skip this part. The risers allow you to engrave taller items when the laser is in the regular position, and they allow you to engrave bigger cups as well. Something to note here, the risers are still on this machine, but I have placed the base plate back in its slots, so it's actually only operating at the 6.5-inch capacity right now. These risers aren't super hard to take on and off, but once you have them on, I don't know, I kind of like to leave them on. But as long as you have this base plate in, you can use it normally on the inside without removing the risers. So here's a few features that I want to point out that I really like. Although I have this on risers right now, most of the tumblers I've done have not required the risers. Even with a 40-ounce tumbler, you can engrave on a portion of it with the machine being completely flat. However, to do a full wrap on a piece that used to have a handle or typically has a handle, you could take that handle off, put these small risers on, and do a full wrap on a 40-ounce mug. There are 2 different grips that you can put on the chuck to hold the base of your tumbler. Play around with those. It's really important to make sure your tumbler is secure and level before you start. When I first started testing this, I went a little easy on that part and some of my tumblers fell off mid-engrave. So I learned my lesson and I am telling you, make sure it is on there really, really good before you start. So I hope that gave you a good overview of what the Rotary kit can do with the WeCreat Vista. I have found this machine really easy to use. I use lasers a lot. I use rotary tools on almost every machine I have, and it did take me a little while to really get a good feel for how to make my materials or my tumblers stick into that chuck without tipping over. And it took me a little bit of time to understand what I could do in the compact machine and what I needed the risers for. So give yourself some grace, take some time, test out your materials. Don't go take a big order and then use the rotary tool for the first time. Give yourself some time to practice. Now that I've been using this for a while, I love it. It is so easy The software is easy to use, the machine is easy to use, and the results are great. So if you're considering getting the Vista, I would absolutely add on that Rotary kit. It is going to come with the risers. Follow the tips we've talked about today, and you will be making tumblers in no time. The best deals on the WeCreat Vista can be found down in the description. Right now, through October 14th, you could take advantage of some incredible launch deals for the WeCreat Vista. This machine, this setup that I have right here with the Rotary and the risers, also comes with air assist and a few test materials, you can get for $7.99. That is an incredible deal right now. So definitely go take a look. There's a link down in the description. Get in on that launch deal now and you will have this next month. If you have any other questions, let me know down in the comments. And if you like this video, consider subscribing. I'm here every week with something new. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.